At the beginning of the film, we see a boy named Andrew who lived in Seattle with his drunk father, Richard, and his sick mother. Andrew was a very calm and decent boy, because of which he was often troubled in school. And besides his cousin Mate, he didn't have any other friend. Here, Richard also often beat Andrew for no reason, because of which Andrew started recording everything by buying a camera. While returning from school, Mate asked him to go to a party with him, for which Andrew wasn't ready at first, but he finally agreed to Mate's request. After that, he went to a party with Mate, but as soon as he reached there, Mate left him alone. After which, Andrew started recording the party to pass his time. And then he saw a vlogger named Casey who was recording the party just like him. Because of the camera in their hands, the conversation started immediately, but then Matey came there and took Casey with him, after which Andrew started recording the party again. But this time, a man thought that maybe Andrew was making a video of his girlfriend. And because of this, he got angry and started abusing Andrew, after which Andrew got angry and left the party. He was just sitting in the park and cursing his life, when the most famous boy of the school, Steve, came to meet him. And he wanted Andrew to go to a secret place with his camera and Mate. And even after his fear, he went inside the pit with Steve and Mate, where the three of them saw a strange, shiny stone. And as soon as they touched the stone, it changed its color. And as soon as this happened, the three of them started bleeding. After a few weeks, the three of them were playing baseball. At that time, Andrew stopped the ball in the air with the power of his brain. Actually, after that night, the three of them had the power to move things from their brain. That day, they decided to go back to that pit, but by then the police had completely closed that pit. After that, they used their powers to do pranks on people. And over time, Mate understood that their powers were like the muscles of the body, and they can make their powers better with practice. After that, the three of them went to the supermarket to have fun, where they secretly bothered a lot of people. After that, the three of them went to a restaurant, where Andrew showed them how they can use their powers to save themselves. After leaving the restaurant, Steve also wanted to use his powers, and that's why he picked up a car of an unknown woman and parked it somewhere else. Seeing this, the three of them were very happy, because it was the heaviest thing they had ever picked up, after having fun the whole day when the three of them were going back home. Suddenly, a car was honking at them from behind. Andrew decided to teach that car driver a lesson, but as soon as he used his powers on the car, he fell into a lake. Seeing this, the three of them immediately ran towards the lake, where Steve took the driver of that car out of the lake. After that, he told the police about this accident. After this accident, Matty was very angry with Andrew, and he suggested that they should make some laws for the use of their powers. After that, they decided that they should never do anything. They will not use their magic on anything alive. After a few days, Steve called Andrew and Mate to meet at a place. Where they reached, they saw that Steve was flying in the air with the help of his powers. Seeing this, they were also very surprised. Seeing this, when Mate tried to fly in the air, he fell directly on the ground. But Andrew was very careful and succeeded in flying like Steve. After working hard for the next few days, the three friends became completely skilled in flying in the sky. And one day, when they were playing football in the sky, an airplane passed very close to them. Because of this, Steve lost his balance and he fell down quickly. But then Andrew, showing his intelligence at the right time, caught him in the middle of the sky. But in all this, he himself fell on the ground. But fortunately, none of them were hurt. The next day, after completing his graduation, he decided to fly around the world, on which Andrew told that he wants to go to Tibet. Actually, he did not want to go to Tibet. He liked the peace of Tibet very much, and now he wanted to feel it with the help of his powers. After school, Mate went to meet Casey for some work, and after finishing his work, he asked Casey, "Will you come with me?" But Casey closed the door on his face without giving any answer. On the other hand, Andrew told Steve about his loneliness, that before getting any powers, he used to be completely alone. After listening to all his talks, Steve advised him to take part in the upcoming talent show, with the help of which he can become famous in the whole school. After a few days, Steve and Andrew showed many tricks with the help of their powers in the talent show, which all the audience liked very much. That same night, Steve and Mate took Andrew to a party where everyone welcomed him very well. Andrew was not feeling alone for the first time. They went to the party, but because of being too intoxicated, Andrew puked on Monica, after which she immediately went out. At the party, Casey reached to meet Mate, and he asked Mate to go to his house, for which Mate also immediately got ready. After a while, Steve reached the room looking for Andrew, where Andrew was sitting without clothes. And seeing him in this condition, Steve also made fun of him. The next day, Andrew was using his powers on a spider. At that time, he heard the scream of his mother, and when he went to his room, Richard started to search his room, in which his eyes were on Andrew's camera, after which he started to call Andrew and started to beat him. But this time, Andrew also picked up his father with the help of his powers and threw him on the ground, after which he immediately left the house. After running away from home, Andrew started to cry in the middle of a storm. At that time, Mayday was spending his beautiful moments with Casey, but suddenly he started to bleed from his nose. Steve's nose was bleeding too, and so he flew and came directly to Andrew. But suddenly, the electricity fell on Steve, due to which he died on the spot. The next day, all the children of the school came to Steve's funeral, after which Mate went directly to Andrew and asked him, "That brother, tell me the truth. What happened?" But Andrew said that I don't know anything about this. But after a while, he came back to Steve's grave, and to not believe his words, he apologized to his friend for the last time the next day when Andrew reached the school. Because of the incident in that party, everyone was making fun of him. But now, Andrew was not going to listen like before, and with the help of his powers, he pulled out a boy's tooth, seeing which all the children were very scared. That same evening, Mate went to Andrew's house to explain the fight in the school, but Andrew was not ready to listen to him. His argument increased so much that Mate tried to punch Andrew, but Andrew also stopped him with his powers, after which Mate quietly left from there. The next day, when Andrew went to a chemist's shop to buy medicines for his mother, he saw that all the medicines were very expensive, and he didn't have the money to buy medicines. For the next few days, he kept looking for different ways to earn money, and one day he got so angry that he decided to loot people, for which he used his father's firefighter suit. First of all, he looted a gang, but still, the money was not enough. And so, he went to a shop. With the help of his powers, he put all the money in his bag. But as soon as he left the shopkeeper brought out his gun to stop him. But before he fired the bullet, Andrew turned the gun's face towards a cylinder, because of which his bullet hit the cylinder, because of which there was a huge explosion. After this incident, Andrew was admitted to a hospital. After some time, Richard also came to meet him, who told him while crying that his mother died looking for him for many days. And according to Richard, Andrew is responsible for his death. Richard started to get angry with Andrew. Then, Andrew regained consciousness, and in anger, he broke the wall of the hospital, in which Richard was also badly injured. There, the maid was at a birthday party at that time, and suddenly, blood started to flow from his nose. As soon as he saw this, he understood that Andrew is very angry. And at the same time, he also saw the news of the explosion in the hospital. The maid immediately ran to the hospital with Casey, where he reached and saw that Andrew had caught Richard in the air. The maid immediately flew into the air and saved Richard first. And seeing his power, everyone standing there was surprised. After this, he went to calm his friend, who had started to cause destruction in the whole city by that time. The maid repeatedly tried to stop Andrew, but he was not ready to listen to him. Today, Andrew wanted to take revenge for his bad life from the whole world. After this, he was also very angry. With the help of his power, Andrew starts destroying big buildings. His anger was very dangerous. With one of his screams, the vehicle started flying in the air. Now Mott had to save the people, so he throws a spear towards Andrew with his power, due to which he dies. Now the policemen try to catch Mott, but he immediately flies somewhere in the sky. After a while, the mate flew over the snowy mountains to Tibet, where Andrew always wanted to come. After this, he put Andrew's camera there and apologized to Andrew for everything. He also promised to use his powers only for the benefit of people. If you liked the video, then like it, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.